a psychiatric ward, 12 foot length, and there were a nail in the end, and she were about to get people with it. People that are influential don't talk like me.
I think it's not very fair, but I think yes, you are judged by your language.
Or if you're in your 30s, 70 years. I'm so glad and grateful. Hi, we're now coming to Smart Car Club meeting. And there are very lovely people there, especially some couple who we communicate with the most. They're so lovely, they accepted us so warmly. I hope I'll be able to film there a little. And they are adults, they're in their 60s, and I wanted to talk a little about this topic because I personally like people who are adult, who are experienced, and I have friends who are in their 60s, and it's so nice. Obviously, I don't love everyone, there's not every young person, but in general, my friends, for example, my art teacher, she's 61, but it doesn't feel at all. She's so modern, she's so smart, she does 3D models and a lot of very modern stuff, and it's so interesting to spend time with her. She's wise. That is a case where with age, wisdom also arrived, because it's not always the case, and I absolutely love her, and I can say that we're friends, we communicate as friends. Also my Spanish teacher, I don't study Spanish at the moment, I studied it before. But we became friends with my teacher. He's also in his 60s and we still communicate. He's Peruvian and he knows so many interesting stories. And I think it's so nice to find friends of different age and both younger and adults. Tell me, what do you think about this? Do you have friends of different ages? I think if something connects you, some common interest, then it's not that noticeable that you have some differences in your age. So, yeah. And because we're meeting with our local British friends, I really want to introduce them a little, to ask some controversial questions about the local accents, about the medical system, because it's very interesting and it's difficult to find a real opinion about this unless you talk to the people who actually live here and experience all of it. So let's try to make an interview and to see what they think of all of this. Yeah, we're now looking at a new smart.
With the parcel, I need to find a DP. Oh,
it's a copy. Yeah, so sunny today. So this is Loraine. I just wanted to ask you a few questions. But Loraine, you're from Leeds, right?
No, Wakefield. But I live in Brighouse, which is in Yorkshire.
Ah, Yorkshire. Why do you think that you're from Leeds? Because probably we've met there first.
Yeah, we have, yeah.
What was your occupation? What were you doing?
I used to be a nurse. I used to work on a psychiatric ward, looking after psychiatric patients.
Oh, is it a difficult work?
You've got to have a lot of skills, not skills like going to college, but you not everybody can do it. That's what I'm trying to say.
You mean some need to be
the right kind of person.
Yes. Need to be patient and maybe understand them. Yes, and
you know, and be on their side basically.
Yeah.
You know, you do get people that work there that are there because they get a wage. Well, yeah, you need a wage, but that shouldn't be the only reason you're there. You should be there to do a good job and make them the most comfortable you can.
Yes.
When they're away from the families and the home and the sick.
Can you think of any special, unusual situations that happened to you at your work? Something difficult, interesting?
I walked on shift one night and they were just about to phone the police. Because one lady had pulled her skirting boards around the bottom off, 12 foot length, and there were a nail in the end, and she were about to get people with it.
Oh, no way.
So they told me not to go near. I didn't take any notice because I knew the lady really well. And I went in there and I spoke to her, and because I wanted to know why. So she told me that she'd been trying to get attention and to speak to somebody all day, and they kept saying in a minute, and it hadn't happened. So I said, well, I'm really sorry for that. I said, but I'm on nights now and I'm here, and you know, if I say I'll do something, I'll do it. She said, I'm not taking my meds. So anyway, she eventually put it down because I persuaded her that, you know, the paperwork involved, if she did anything with that, I said, I just put it down, you know, which she did. And then she liked playing the little piano thing. So I got her to go in another room with a piano thing and play that. And then 5 minutes later, she was taking a medication. Because I said, look, you don't hate your hands being put on because she's been raped, etc. And we laughed her. It's going in anyway, so you might as well just do it when the easiest way for you, which is just to have it. So she took it. And while she was naughty, she'd thrown coffee all up the walls and made a right mess everywhere. And half an hour later, she got a bucket of water and she was washing them off.
No.
Because it's about trust.
Yes.
And knowing that really she wouldn't lie. It's about being truthful and doing what you're saying and caring.
Yeah. That's what you were talking in the very beginning, that you need to be the right person.
Yes.
And you're the right person if you can actually.
Yeah, I mean, I could have gone in there, you know, and they could have just wrapped her in a whatever they do, got police and had her. But what good would have that done her? Well, much better this scenario. When I explained that, you made a mess, and that's their dues. I said, you were upset. I said, but this isn't just your home. It's all the other patients' homes, and you spoilt their home. So she asked for a bucket on herself, and she cleaned it up.
I think those people were very lucky to have you there.
Yeah, I miss my job. I used to be very good at it. So, but, you know, sometimes you have to be tough and you have to say no. Sometimes you have to do, you know, so, but yeah, I really enjoyed my job. But then I got poorly with my legs, and a lot of it's walking and checking on people, because I was on a psychiatric ward where they do suicide. So I used to go and they'd be hanging and there'd be puddles of blood, and you have to deal with it, which I'm
So
really
you have
good at.
counted.
So I did that. That was what I went and.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
But how do you cope with it psychologically?
When I went on shift, nobody did that because they were happy. That's the point. Keep them happy. They don't do that. Ignore them. They do. It's not a lot happened while I was on shift. You know, and whatever had gone before, I used to be daft, be silly with them. I used to get them to go get all the bins and then go get all the socks, and we used to have to throw a sock in a bin and be silly. And that cheers them up, you know. They didn't give us any stuff to do things with them, so we had to like use stuff that was about. We still have fun. You know, I used to work every Christmas. Instead of spending it with my family, I used to stop at work and I'd do a programme of things with them, because it's bad enough being apart when you're poorly. Any time at Christmas especially, it's hard. So I wanted to give them as much as the Christmas as what I could give them.
Yeah. It's so nice from you, really. And because you worked in this, I can say, medical system, yes? Can you say a few words about the UK medical system? Do you like it? Or
In England,
yeah.
the waiting lists are too long, not enough money spent on it. So they do the best job they can, but they haven't got enough funds, you know? So they are very good, but they stretch beyond belief, you know, in England, compared with probably where you are.
What do you mean by that? Can you explain a little more?
The government gives them money to run it, but they don't give them enough money. So they have to run it the best they can, but they don't have really enough money to put the real staffing ratios there should be, or some, you know, provide everything that people should be getting. So some things, you know, they have to concentrate on the important things, and the things that probably elsewhere in other countries you get, they don't. So the NHS isn't all that. Not as good as it used to be.
And there is lack of medical staff, yes, and
there's medical staff. It's lack of funding provided by the government to be able to do it properly. You know, they cater for the ill person, but they don't cater for his wounds, etc. What's wrong with him, but they don't cater for his mental health while he's poorly and things like that, which will all help recovery, won't they?
I've heard that here you can get really nice medical care if you have some serious situation or disease when you need it urgently. But
No, if you're in a dire situation, we have
Yes.
centres of excellence. Like when the ambulance took me on Monday, because it was what it was, I went to one hospital. If it had been heart or something else, I would have gone to another one. So in the overall area, they have centres of excellence for certain things. So yeah, they've got they're very good if you're seriously ill.
yeah.
But mental health now, a lot of people that used to get help with mental health that are physically poorly, that side they aren't getting any help now. That's sad.
Yes, and also if you have some minor disease like throat ache, it's difficult to get some help.
Anthony had a poorly leg yesterday. He went to work yesterday morning. He was in agony all day. So he thought, he went doctors 2 weeks to get a doctor's appointment.
Yeah.
You know, so you called in at A&E. They were queuing. They were in beds. They were. You have never seen as many people. He would have been there hours. He'd just done 13 hours at work. So I told him to come home when we did the 9 whatever numbers, and then we got an appointment at 9:30. We took him and came home out of hours thing. Yeah. So but you have to wait too long from your doctor
Yes.
for an appointment.
Well, you need the medication that you can't buy without a doctor, right?
Yeah. So some of them you can't. You see, so you need a doctor for that. But we got sore. You know, we did get seen at 9:30. So we didn't have a long wait. It'd have been far longer than that sat in A&E, and they'd have laughed at him really. But what do you do when it's 2 weeks to a doctor's appointment?
Yes.
So
That's what I was thinking about. That
Yeah.
if it's something urgent, yes, they do help you.
they
But
will help.
if
Well,
you
you've
just
got a 999, you've got
Yes.
an ambulance haven't you, that you can ring. You know, they all say ambulance, you know, like a fire or whatever. And then you get through and you have to explain everything. And if it's like they ask you questions that they know it's serious or not with the answers that you give, and an ambulance will be there if you need one. I mean, mine were there. They said 45 minutes. We were there in 10 minutes to take me in.
yeah.
So they're quite good with that. But I suppose that depends how near you live to where ambulances are, doesn't it? Might be longer if you don't live so near, or you're a bit, you know, out in wilds.
Yes. Loraine, can I ask you one more little question? I was just curious about your English pronunciation, because I've noticed as a foreigner that it's very different from place to place. Here in Manchester, there's
Called
big
accents.
yes, accents or the dialects. Yes.
Yeah, I'm quite broad Yorkshire, whereas somebody from down south sounds very posh. You know, and it's all little groups, and where you live, that's what you listen to when you're growing up. So then you sound like them.
Yes.
You know, and people that move get sort of move a few places, get a mixture. You know, but it's when how people spoke around you when you were a child in your development. That's how you speak.
What is your type of pronunciation?
I'm just broad Yorkshire,
Broad Yorkshire. Okay.
not posh.
And what do you mean by posh?
You don't understand that?
I understand. Yeah, it's like Royal English. Yeah.
No,
No, it's different.
Yeah, like people that are influential
Yes.
don't talk like me.
Ah.
You know, they have Queen thing. You know, they speak a lot better than I do.
Oh.
You know, but nobody's better than anybody else. You know.
So it's as far as I heard that they try to educate in private schools this posh English. Is it
Yeah.
so?
Yeah, you can go and if it bothers you.
Can you draw an example of such sentence in posh English?
I don't know where one is because it's never interested me, so I can't
I
help
see.
you with that. But yeah,
But isn't it important to know this Royal English to get a better job or, I don't know, better friends?
it's not. It's not. It's not what you say. It's how you speak.
Yes.
It's different. It's not the words. It's how you speak the words.
Yes. And is it important? Like, do people judge you because of that?
At first, till they get to know you, but then your real personality comes out, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah.
But at first impressions,
Yes.
you know, yeah.
That's very interesting for me because we don't have this in other countries. Yeah, we do have this pronunciation thing, but still in England it feels
so many like Welsh. Wow, it's totally different. Scottish. You know, you don't know what they're saying, do you?
Yes, exactly.
You know, but if you spend enough time with them, you learn. You know, just getting used to things, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Anthony's very difficult. He finds it very difficult with accents, whereas I don't so much because I think nursing, I work with so many foreign people as well, that I'm sort of a bit educated with the, you know, what they're saying. And I sort of know anyway, you know, sixth sense with what they mean.
Yeah, because I think you just try to understand everyone. And you have the skill, yes. Yeah. And what is Anthony's pronunciation?
Oh, he speaks very well. Yeah, he's done his masters and been to. I suppose as well. He's been around a lot of people doing it high up in his courses that are, you know, speak better, so that rubs off, I suppose.
Is it considered posh English? Anthony's pronunciation.
He speaks properly.
Properly.
He'd say he speaks properly, and I don't. But I don't care.
Yeah. It's just interesting for me because, you know, I don't feel all these details, so I wanted to ask you. Thank you so much. It was so interesting to talk to you. Thanks for your time. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
You know, Anthony, I just was talking to Loraine about the accents here in the UK because for me as a foreigner it's a bit difficult. Everyone talks differently in Manchester, in Liverpool, everywhere. And Loraine told me that you have really good English, and for me it's really quite clear and understandable.
In Yorkshire, in the north of England, where we are, we tend to talk a bit slower. So because we talk slower, it's easier for people to pick up. This country has accents in every county. You know, every county has a different accent or different things that they say. I feel in some ways it is starting to die. My grandfather was a Yorkshireman, and he was a very, very broad Yorkshireman, and you would probably struggle to understand what he said. And the same with Michael, who lives up in the northeast. The northeast, they can have a real, what's called a Geordie accent up there, which is another accent. Obviously we've got all of Scotland, which is different, Ireland, which is different, but basically everywhere you go, Wales, anywhere you go in the UK, it's different.
Yes.
We can tell people by how they talk.
Yes.
You know, some people will talk and say, "Oh, are you from Essex?" And they go, "Yeah, I'm from Essex." And we can think, "Hang on, what did they say?" You know, we're English, you know, it's all the same language.
Loraine told me that you have better English than she does. But why? You both are locals.
Yes, we both come from the same place, and we're probably born within sort of 15 miles of each other. But it's probably how you're brought up as well. And you know, my parents sent me to private school, and always, you know, encouraged me to talk, you know, Queen's English basically. So although I'm still Yorkshire, you know, hopefully my diction's good.
It's important to speak posh English to get a better job, to be accepted somewhere. Do people judge you by your language?
I think it's not very fair, but I think, yes, you are judged by your language, how you talk. People believe by how you talk that that's probably an education level that you reach, which is totally wrong. You know, there are people I know who are immensely more clever than.
I know that a lot of British people do move to Spain now. Yeah?
Do what?
Move to Spain now.
Move to Spain, yes.
I've heard about it. There are whole villages of British people living there.
Yes. It was very popular to go and live in the south of Spain, in the sunshine, when you retired. And then it's got more and more popular. There's more and more people out there. although people get to the age where they need to come home, whether it's health reasons or it's family reasons, you know, they need to return to the UK. And because of the economic climate as far as property prices is concerned, people have got fingers burnt with properties out there and lost money or struggled to make back what they've spent. So it has made some people quite frightened of it, but I think at one time we went through that in the UK, that we were in that position where houses weren't fetching the money and there were people in negative equity. But you know, hopefully, you know, that's worked out now. We're through that now, and we're out the other side, and people will continue to go out there. It is a bit different now because now we're not in the European Union. There's a difference as far as what we can get in foreign countries, what help we can get. Because all the countries in Europe, there tends to be concessions with travel or with, you know, healthcare. But now, because of that, it's a different ball game. So I think British people going out there, certainly for holidays, need to get good insurance, so they are covered for anything happening to them while they're out. But yes, a lot of British people like Spain. An awful lot of British people, you know, go to the south of Spain and there's British pubs, there's fish and chip shops. There's everything like that in Spain.
I also seen it in Greece a lot.
I love Spain. I do love Spain, and I love the Spanish as well, you know. So yeah, I'd be happy to go.
But last time you told me that you're always happy to come back to the UK after Spain to experience this rainy days after hot weather.
Oh yes. When you come back, it's like when we go from this country to anywhere. I used to travel to the Caribbean every year, and when I used to come back, the weather here was always cold when you were...
Here my camera stopped recording, but I must say that I'm so glad and grateful to Loraine and Anthony that they were so open to answering my questions and sharing their personal experience. So let's say thank them. And if you found something new about the culture, please give a like to this video. And write your opinion about the accents. Is it difficult for you if you're a foreigner or if you're local too? Do we have to judge the people by their pronunciation and the way they speak? I'm very curious to know what you think about this. Now we'll have a little walk in a park and in Preston. But when I came home, I was so inspired because I remember that Anthony told me something in our personal conversation. And I realized that sometimes young people give up on their life when they are still so young. In their 20s, 30s, 40s, they think that life is over if you haven't reached something. And then I remembered the average age of the Nobel Prize laureates, which is, wait for the end of the video, I will tell you about this. There will be an encouraging speech from me. What I like in the UK that these trees are here in this square shape, because in other countries they are rounded, not that much of a square, because here these double-deckers, they are tall and they need to travel somehow, and in many places it's so square. It's so funny, I don't know, I always notice it. I've met. Hi donkey, you're so cute. How's your day? And talking about the accents, I personally agree with Loraine that the way you speak, the way you look, makes the first impression. But I also think that if there is no personality behind this, you still won't be able to make a lot of friends or to be accepted, because you need to be someone to know who you are, to be bright enough, etc. And I also think that even if you don't speak in a perfect way, but you are someone, a self, a human who knows who he is, you have this core in you, then I think that you will be accepted no matter how you speak. For example, this Indian guru, you've probably seen him. He has a sick accent, but it's his feature, and he's so charismatic, and we love him for who he is. And it's a great example of being the self. On the other hand, I also believe that there is always room for improvement, whether it's your knowledge, the language. For example, if you want to be a TV host, you will obviously need to improve some speaking skills, etc. So that's what I think. I think still the personality goes first, but it is important to enhance certain things. Coming home, I'm so happy because I'm glad to talk to different people to find out their opinion, especially the locals, because it's different from what I experience. It feels that I'm digging deeper into the culture, into different people's opinions, and I'm interested in social anthropology, and that's one of the methods of it, to basically observe, to talk to people, to make your conclusions. So I love that we can learn something new from different cultures, and I want to show such parts on my channel more. On our way home, it's a huge traffic jam, and the police was everywhere, and we didn't know what happened. I read the news, and it says that a man was struck with a firearm. So they're looking for the criminal now, and it was a helicopter here. There is no much information, but it seems that the victim is alive, and yeah, we'll see what happens. Actually, it doesn't happen that often in England. I haven't heard a lot of such cases just now, but yeah, here's the situation today. I'm now at home. I was inspired and I want to share this with you. So we were talking with Anthony about some age things. He said, Alexander, you're still so young, you have so much time ahead to do the things, to fulfill your dreams. Don't be afraid to do so. And from my perspective, sometimes it doesn't feel that there is a lot of time ahead, because you have to reach the goals, you need to have this and that, and because of that sometimes you're so frustrated, you feel that you haven't reached something by your age where you had to, but then when you look from a perspective of someone who's 60 years old and he knows that you have so much time to do everything, it just feels so different. So what I'm talking about here is that we don't know how much time do we have ahead. But if you think that, for example, you can live up to 100 years and more, and if you're in your 20s, imagine you have 80 years more, or if you're in your 30s, 70 years, and 40s, 50s, 60s even, and even more. You can have 40, 30 years, or even if you have 10 years more of your life, it's already so valuable, and you don't know how much you have. Maybe it will be just 1 year, but I think it's worth doing things that you want to do now when you have this desire, not postponing it for later, for waiting for the better moment, because who knows how will it be. But if you want to start something, it's a good moment to start now. For example, my grandmother only fulfilled her dream when she was in her 60s, close to 70s, and she became a singer, and she's now singing in a choir, and she has so many awards. She's now the leader of their choir, and it's so amazing, I think, because before in her life she was too busy with work, children. She didn't have the possibility to become a singer. But then in her 60s, her life changed, and she's so much happier now because she finally found a way to convey who she is, to show her talent, to feel appreciated, and that's absolutely amazing. So you never know when you will be able to do it, now in your 30s, in your 20s, or maybe in your 60s, but of course if you have a desire, it's always nice to try earlier, but if you come to it later, it's okay. Never give up about it. That was my encouraging speech. And I remembered something else. Just for your information, the average age of Nobel Prize laureates is 61 years old. So in their 30s, these people could have thought that they were lost, desperate, And then there's 50s, 60s, 70s, they receive the best prize that exists in their field, for example. And so can you, not necessarily some prize, but it can be fulfillment in terms of having a family or having inner peace, what's important for you. It's never too late. Please like and subscribe, I will really appreciate it, and I'll be doing more videos researching the life, different cultures, also art and crafting, and I'll see you in the future videos. Bye!